program that generates a randomized baseball game lineup. The program takes the names of 12 players and it also takes the batting average for each of these players. It's going to generate baseball lineup according to Pony Shetland rules. There we go. And it's ordered from the highest batting average down to the lowest. We get a random position for each player for each of the innings. So to figure out how to generate each of the random positions, I have this analysis. So we have 12 different positions. 6 of them are infield positions and 6 of them are outfield. I am storing each player and their respective positions into this 2D array that I'm calling lineup, and I have a corresponding array for each inning that's going to help me check off each of the positions that are being assigned. So in the code, I have all of these global consts. This makes it so that in case I ever need to change an index or number of innings, I can do it in one place. I have these helper functions that I will review when I explain this position assignment successful function. This is my main function for assigning each of the positions. And these are functions for merge sort that I use when I display the array so that we can see the lineup from highest to lowest batting average. So here we are at the main program. So here I have a function to seed my random numbers. Here's the 2D array that's going to store my game lineup. So we can see here we get the 12 player names as user input. We get the batting averages, and we go through each inning and we try and assign positions for each inning. So I have the position assignment successful function returning a bool, because just in case we can't assign all the positions for an inning, I'm just going to start over at inning 1 and try and reassign the positions again until we get a successful combination. So you can see in the analysis in inning 5, when I got to Grant for inning 5, I actually wasn't able to assign a position for him because everything that was remaining he had already played. So because there wasn't a position available, I had to disregard all the positions I tried and try a different combination. And it worked in this example, but when I was running the program, I did run into situations where it still wasn't able to get a combination for the inning. So, which means that the issue is earlier on. So in the code, what I'm doing is actually I'm just starting all the way over from inning 1 and reassigning all the positions over again until we get a working combination. So to go into the position assignment successful function, we can see how that happens here. So what I do is I generate a random number. It's going to represent one of these positions, and I'm going to keep generating a random number. Like if it's already checked off, then that means I need a new number. If I'm here and I'm looking back and the position was already played, then I need a new number. And also if I'm generating 10 or 11, which means 10 or 11 means that I'm trying to assign this player to be out. If they were already out, then I need to generate another random number. So it's going to keep generating random numbers until none of that is true. And that means that the position is available. So then I can actually assign it into my lineup. But if it keeps trying to assign a position and we get stuck in this loop and it can't find position, I have this counter called number of tries that I reset for each player, for each position. If I get to 20 and it still hasn't found a number that corresponds with a position that I can assign, then I'm going to return false, and that means the position assignment was not successful. So I'm going to return false, and then it's going to go back to inning 1. But if the position is successful, so we're back here, it is successful, we assign it into our lineup array, and then we check it off of our the assigned positions for inning. This array is our bool array to check off. So in the code, I change it from 0 to 1. That's how I check it off. And then if I'm able to assign a position for all the players, that means we're successful for that inning and we return true. So before I get the random number, I do pass in a lower bound and upper bound, and what that corresponds to is what part of this positions array do I want to select position from. And this is important because one of the rules is a player can't play an infield position until all the players have played one. So I need to make sure that for inning number 2 that all the infield players that they get assigned an outfield position. So I use the index 6 through 11 as the bounds to assign them to outfield position, and vice versa for outfield, they got to be an infield. Otherwise, for the rest of the innings and also for the first inning, they can be any position from 0 through 11. So yeah, I have some helper functions. This random index is how we're generating that random index. Player already out. We want to make sure that if a player was already out, that we can't make them out again. We check if the position was already played. So for example, if we're here in inning 3, we want to look back at the previous innings to make sure that Jackson hasn't already played right field. This function does. And then just some helper functions to help us figure out if an index number is in field, and we return a string to help me assign that to the 2D array. And so this helper function for the position index. So that is how we assign all the positions. Once we've assigned all the positions, then we can go ahead and display the array. So at this point, all the positions are assigned, but they're not sorted yet. So in our display array function, I used merge sort because I wanted to use a divide and conquer approach to sort the array. And I was working through how we divide up the array and sort of sort and merge them back together. I do realize though that here I have it in from lowest to highest. So in the code, I'm actually comparing from if it's greater than or equal to. So this sorts it from highest to lowest. This actually compares if the left is less than or equal to the right, which is not what we want. So I corrected that in the code. And this is just a copy 2D array, helps me split up the arrays in the merge sort so that I can recombine them back together so that we have a sorted array, and then I can go ahead and go through the 2D lineup array and print out each of the players. And I also just make sure that if the position that I'm displaying is out 1 or out 2, that it just displays out. And that is the program. I'm going to run it just a couple more times so that we can verify that we are generating random lineups. So it does look different. Let's try it again.